Okay, so today we're going to take advantage of our unit rate to be able to figure out what's missing in a table. Now, yesterday's lesson we looked at creating two fractions, setting them equal to each other, and then doing a cross multiply and then divide. We can use that same pattern here. So we're looking for how much 36 ounces of the cereal costs. Okay, so I could set up a fraction such as, let me get my pencil, 1.44. This is the first entry into the table. And because we know this is a proportional relationship, that has to equal however many ounces, much money, I should say, 36 ounces cost. Okay, so we can do that. That's all we have to do. Cross multiply. And this will tell us exactly how much 36 ounces will cost. So when I cross multiply, I get 12x equals, now I gotta use my calculator, take 1.44 and multiply it by 36. And that gives us $51.84. Now, we want to know how much that 36 ounce package is going to cost, so I've got to divide by 12. X is going to be the value that we're looking for. So I take 51.84, hit divide by 12, and I get X equals 4.32. I find that on my list of choices, so I know I did something right. Okay, and that is all there is to it. So we're looking for a comparison between two fractions where one of the fractions has a missing piece. And again, you don't have to put this in here, but we call that missing piece whatever variable you want to use. I'm using X. Okay, and so this using proportions, I already did it. Okay, that's exactly what I did. 1.44 divided by 12 is equal to whatever X is divided by 36. Okay, there is another way that you can do that, and that is to find your unit rate. So to do that, we can take the 1.44 and actually divide it by 12, and what we end up with is 0.12 or 12 cents. And then because we're going from ounces to cost, all we have to do is take the 36 ounces and multiply it by the cost per ounce. And when you do that, you get $4.32. Okay? So this is a second way that you can find the value. So we find unit rate, then multiply by unit rate. Okay. Personally, I find it easier just to set up the proportions. Problem number 2. Table below shows the cost of donuts at a local bakery. Assuming the amount of donuts is proportional to the cost, how much would 30 donuts cost? Well, we only go up to 12. So we're missing a piece in this table. So I'm going to put in a 30 here, and we're looking for the cost. So again, I have a missing piece. I can use proportions. What I need to do first is find one proportion where I'm dividing y by x. So I'm just using the first one. Three donuts cost us $1.50. Now I want to set that equal to the cost over the number of donuts we want. We want 30. Some of you can look at this set of fractions here and you can say, well, from 3 to get to 30, we're just multiplying by 10, so I could take that and multiply by 10. That's absolutely true. You could take the cost and multiply it by 10. Doing it using proportions, we have 3x. 3 times x is 3x. And then we have 30 times $1.50. So I'm going to do that on my calculator, and that gives us $45. Now we just need to divide by 3, and I get x is equal to 15. Okay, so how much is it going to cost us for 30 donuts? $15. And yet others of you might have looked at that table of values and said, well, 6 donuts cost us $3. That's half the amount of, the cost is half the amount of the number of donuts. So if I take half the amount of 30 donuts, I get x is equal to 15. So there's many ways to go about this. Once you recognize patterns, use those patterns. Okay, what I'm showing you here with the proportions is when you can't see the pattern, when it's difficult to find the pattern, or this is the process that works best for you. This is the way you would want to solve that problem. Okay, so 2 problems on that page. Table shows the cost for buying dog food in pounds from a feed supply store. $10 cost us $8.60, $22 cost us $18.92. Use any method, calculate the cost of a 15-pound bag of dog food. Okay, so we want a bag that's somewhere in between the 10 and the 22 pounder. Again, I'm going to use the same method. We want 15 pounds. We don't know what the cost is. So I'm going to use proportions. And I'm going to set up $8.60. Notice that I'm always putting my y value, that's my second value, again, x, then y. I'm putting that on top and the amount of pounds on the bottom. So if I do the same thing for this one, I have x on top and 15 on the bottom. Cross multiply. I get 10 times x equals 8.60 times 15 equals 129. And so x is going to equal 12.9, and since we're talking about dollars and cents, I put a 0 on the end. So we end up with $12.90. That's how much a 15-pound bag will cost you. Now, you can check in the table. Our 15 pounds falls between 10 and 22-pound bags, right? So if I look at the prices of 10-pound bag and a 22-pound bag, does my value fall somewhere in between there? If not, then I did something wrong. But you can see that it does indeed fall in between there. Okay, so you can kind of check your answer afterwards to make sure you did the process right. Table shows the cost for buying notebooks from an office supply store. Using any method, calculate the cost of buying 27 notebooks. So again, we have a missing piece. I don't know what the cost is. You can use any one of these pairs to create a fraction. So we always want cost over number of notebooks. And you really should start out with something like that so you know what fractions you're creating. So I need the cost. Let's take 576. That's for 8 notebooks. Cost x for 27 notebooks. Cross multiply. 8x equals 27 times 5.76. And that gives you 155.52. And then we divide by 8. Now, I don't know if you know this, but when you have just done a problem, the answer that was there for that last problem, the 155.52, all I have to do is hit divide. It keeps that answer in there. And then I just hit divide by 8, and it gives me the answer, 19.44. So that's going to be $19.44. Okay, now, I didn't write that on the line. I didn't do that up above you either, but as long as you got your answer identified, and of course put your your label on there. Okay, so where was I? I got interrupted there. I think that's it. We got $19.44. And, I was going to say, you can do a check to make sure that you have a legitimate answer. So 27 falls in between 17 and 34. And I know I didn't put it there on the table, but there's not room for it. And so my price then should fall between the 12.24 and the 24.48. And it does. And finally, Anna purchased the same golf balls at the same store on different occasions. The information is listed in the table below. So she got $14.04. We're trying to find out how much it's going to cost for 20 of them. Same process. Ba-bam, we put the 20 in there for the number of golf balls and the X for the cost. Pick any fraction. I'm going to pick a different one this time just to make it a little more different, a little more interesting. I'm going to take 5616 and the number of golf balls that go with that, which is 48. Now you'll notice I'm always putting my Y value over my X value, my cost over my number of golf balls. So there's my cost, and number of golf balls is 20. Again, cross multiply. I get 48X is equal to, and 56.16 times 20 is equal to 1123.2. Okay, big number. Now it's still in my calculator. I can hit divide, and it's going to divide that number by 48. Why am I dividing by 48? Because that's the next step in the process of solving this little equation. And I get $23.40. I got 4.4, but they just don't put the 0 on the calculator, so you got to put that 0 back in there. Okay? Again, checking for accuracy to make sure that I have a value that makes sense, looking between 12 and 25. That's where 20 golf balls falls, and my price falls between $14.04 and $29.25. So it's verified. And that is all there is to this.